y equals 1 minus x squared looks like this, and 1 minus nx squared looks like this. So find the value of n, the constant n, for which a1 equals the area of a2. So find the value of n. So to do this, we need to find these two roots, because we're going to integrate it from 0 to this root, and we need to integrate it from 0 to this root. So let's find this point here first. So when will this be equal to 0? So 1 minus x squared equals 0. So add x squared. So x is root 1. Well, this point here is 1. When where will this be? This would be when this thing equals 0. So when this thing here equals 0, because we're trying to find the roots here. So add this thing to both sides, and then divided by n, and then square root both sides. So square rooting both sides would look like this, but I'm going to visualize it like this, which turns out to be 1 over root n. So the root here is 1 over root n. So now we can start the problem now. So we're trying to find a value of n for which a1 is the same as a2. So let's set this up. I know that two lots of a1, so the area of a1 is given by this. Hang on. We're going to integrate it from 0 to here, 1 over root n of this graph, 1 minus nx squared dx. So that a1 is given by this. But I know that two lots of a1 will be the same as the integral from 0 to 1 of this graph, 1 minus x squared dx. So this will now be true, because two lots of a1, so this is a1 here, will be the same as the integral from 0 to 1 of this graph. So this statement must be true if the two areas are the same, because look, two lots of a1 must be the same as the integral from 0 to 1. Well, anyway, we need to find n. So let's integrate this. So this will become, let's integrate this. So integrating this would be, when you integrate 1, it will be x. When you integrate this, it will be, remember, n's a constant. When you integrate this, it will be nx to the power 3 over 3 from 0 to that thing there, 1 over root n. And when you integrate this, it will be, integrate the 1, it will be x. Integrate this would be x to the power 3 over 3 from 0 to 1. So now let's put this into here. So that would be 1 minus, put this into here, would be 1 cubed over 3, that would be a third. And then take away, put 0 into here, it would be 0. Put 0 into here, it would be 0. So this thing here would be this, okay? So let me just move this to the right a bit. So that would be 1 minus 1 over 3. So now let's do this one here. We've got the 2. Let's just leave the 2 alone for the time being. So put the constant here into this x. So that would be 1 over root n. And then minus, put the constant into the x here. That would be n. And then 1 over root n all to the power of 3 over 3. So that will then take us to here. Let me just tidy this thing up. So that would be 3 over 3, take away 1 over, that would be 2 over 3. We need to tidy up this thing here. Let's look at this thing to the power of 3. So to the power of 3 means this, root n times root n times root n. Merging these two together would be n. Merging these two together would be n. And then, so to the power 3, looks like this. But then you've got to multiply by this n over 3 thing. So this gets multiplied to the top. So it will look like this. And then the two n's cancel each other out. So that will be 1 over that thing, and then divided by 3. I'm going to visualize it like this: divide by 3, and when you divide a fraction, it gets multiplied to the bottom. So it turns out to be this neat thing here. So this whole block here will be, 3 root n here. Okay, so now let's merge these two fractions together. So I'm going to visualize this as, well, times top and bottom by 3. So it looks like this. 3 root n, take away 1 over 3 root n. Same denominator, same denominator. So 3 take away 1 will be 2. So it's going to be like this. It's going to be like this. So this whole thing here would be this. And then you've got times 2, times 2. This 2 here gets multiplied to the top. So that would be 4. So that would be 4. So the whole thing will look like this. Okay, so now it's just a matter of finding n. So take the reciprocal both sides. Do loads of ways of doing this. Do whichever way you want. N over 4 here. Times 4 to both sides. So that would be 12 divided by 2. That would be 6. And then divide both sides by 3, so that would be 2. That would be 2. And then square both sides, so that n equals 4. So what that means is, if this here is a 4, then the area of A1 would be the same as the area of A2. Okay?